Information, communications. Vietnam expects to be among top 50 countries in the Information and Communications Technology (ICT) Development Index by 2025 and top 30 in the Digital Infrastructure Development Index by 2030. Vietnam expects to be among the top 50 countries in the Information and Communications Technology (ICT) Development Index by 2025 and top 30 in the Digital Infrastructure Development Index by 2030. These targets are set in the draft National Digital Infrastructure Strategy through 2025, with an orientation toward 2030, recently released by the Ministry of Information and Communications, MOIC. The draft focuses on four main sectors: broadband telecom infrastructure, data center and cloud computing infrastructure, digital technology infrastructure, and digital infrastructure platforms. With regard to broadband telecoms infrastructure, the draft proposes replacing Viasat-1 and Viasat-2 satellites and building 610 new international fiber optic cables, including 4 submarine cables and 2 terrestrial cables. By 2030, all households would have access to gigabit internet services and 100% of the population would be covered with 5G telecom services. As for data center and cloud computing infrastructure, at least 2 national data centers, 3 national multi-purpose data center clusters, and 6 regional multi-purpose data center clusters would be built. The country would strive to develop digital hubs to provide services to overseas customers. By 2030, Vietnam would be ranked among the top 30 data center, cloud computing service providers in the world. Regarding digital technology infrastructure, the draft sets the target of developing 10 digital technology infrastructure enterprises, prioritizing AI, blockchain and IoT technologies, and strengthening the management of intellectual property rights, patents, trademarks and digital technology copyrights of high value. With the aim of meeting requirements of the digital government, digital economy and digital society, the country expects to build 8 national digital infrastructure platforms, including the National Electronic Identification and Authentication Platform, National Digital Address Platform, National Digital Map Platform, National Data Sharing and Integration Platform, National Radio and Television Platform, National E-Payment Platform, National E-Invoice Platform, and National E-Certificate Platform. In order to achieve such targets, the MOIC proposes revising the law on telecommunications and its guiding texts. In addition, a law governing the digital technology industry would be formulated with a view to creating regulatory sandboxes for testing and application of new technologies and development of infrastructure for new technology platforms. The draft also underlines the necessity to improve policies and formulate and adjust sectoral, regional and provincial master plans along the direction of prioritizing and creating conditions for the development of broadband infrastructure and building of data storage centers, internet exchange points and cable landing stations, etc. Worthy of note, the draft switches the green light for building of digital infrastructure facilities on public land in sync with the electricity infrastructure system. Funds for development of digital technologies would be allocated from the sources of funds for science and technology tasks. Meanwhile, funds of national product development programs would be used for development of digital technology products, digital services, digital infrastructure development solutions, and digital infrastructure technology research, development and transfer tasks. In addition, the state would support and attract non-state enterprises to invest in digital infrastructure. National technical standards and regulations on broadband service quality would be improved on a par with those of developed countries. Meanwhile, national technical regulations on the application of digital technology in the field of health, education, industry, agriculture, transport, energy, power, water and smart urban cities would be developed, according to the draft. Natural resources, environment. All emission discharging facilities would have to pay emission charge at the rate of 3 million Vietnamese dongs, $125 per year, according to a draft decree on environmental protection charge for exhaust emissions designed by the Ministry of Finance, MOF. All emission discharging facilities would have to pay emission charge at the rate of 3 million Vietnamese dongs, 125 United States dollars, per year, according to a draft decree on environmental protection charge for exhaust emissions designed by the Ministry of Finance, MOF. Particularly for those subject to emission monitoring, in addition of the annual charge of 3 million Vietnamese dongs, they would also be required to pay a variable charge at a rate of 500 Vietnamese dongs, 800, 21 United States dollars minus 33, per each ton of particulate matter, nitrogen oxides, NOx, sulfur oxides, SOx, and carbon monoxide, CO. As proposed in the draft, charge payers would be all emission discharging facilities such as those engaged in steel production and metallurgy, inorganic chemical, inorganic fertilizer, and chemical pesticide production, oil refinery and petrochemical production, waste recycling and treatment, thermal power, and cement production. The fixed charge might be paid on a quarterly, monthly, or annual basis. As for the variable charge, quarterly, charge payers would make a declaration on the environmental protection charge for exhaust emissions and submit it to charge collectors by the 10th of the first month of the subsequent quarter. If the draft is approved, the state budget revenue will annually increase by around 1,200 billion Vietnamese dongs, 49,991,640 United States dollars. Such amounts would be spent for addressing air pollution in areas where exist pollutant discharging facilities. According to the MOF, the whole country has about 5.1 million automobiles and a large number of motorbikes daily discharging large volumes of emissions. Nearly 120,000 industrial production facilities, including 138 facilities seriously polluting the environment, have not been completely treated under the plan specified in Decision 1788, QDTTG. Thank you for reading our legal document updates.